Hey everyone! Today we're counting down our picks for the best monster truck games that you should check out. And without further ado, let's dive right in. Monster Truck Madness. Now, this game is old. In fact, it's too old even for me. However, some of you still swear by it, so this is for you guys. But here's the thing. It totally stood out back in the day. It dropped at a time when we were just starting to see realistic suspension physics in racing games. Imagine going from stiff, fixed wheels to actually seeing the suspension bounce and compress. Mind blown. And the soundtrack is absolute fire. The whole vibe just screamed Monster Truck Madness. Anyway, the game's status is now abandonware, so you can just get it freely. Thunder Truck Rally. The first few games are old games, so bear with me for a few minutes, okay? Anyway, this is not the best monster truck game on this list, not even when compared with the classic ones, but it's definitely fun to race monster trucks across various off-road tracks in the wilderness. And since its status is also abandonware by now, there's no harm in trying this game if you missed it when you were a kid. Go ahead, experience that long-lost nostalgia in your mind. You won't regret it. Monster Truck Madness 2. Now, some people say this sequel is worse than the original, but as you may realize, nostalgia is a bitch, right? Anyway, this game leveled up big time from the original. The trucks now have deformable bodies, so you'll actually see the damage they take during races. It's like the trucks are saying, yeah, we just got wrecked, but we're still going. All in all, it's a wild ride, with more trucks, more tracks, and more attitude, and just like the original, its status is now abandonware, so get them without any cost. Rigs of Rods. This one isn't actually a monster truck game, but a vehicle simulation game that uses soft body physics to simulate the motion, destruction, and deformation of vehicles. And with a physics-based vehicle game comes a dedicated community that is still active in developing and playing this game. But like all games of this nature, you'll need to learn how to tinker with it before you can start enjoying it. This one is definitely for people who love to tweak and experiment. Anyway, this game is free and open source forever, so there's no harm in giving it a try. FlatOut 3. Chaos and Destruction. Now, you might be wondering why the worst FlatOut game is on this list instead of the other, better ones. Well, this one is the only FlatOut game that has monster trucks in it, and I need variation and diversity in this list, to be honest. Anyway, it may not be the most fun FlatOut game in the franchise or the most fun monster truck game on this list, but if you're looking for a simple arcade racing experience that doesn't require a lot of brain power, which some of you are lacking, this is the game you need. Monster Jam Battlegrounds. With this one, don't be surprised if the quality isn't that great for a PC or console game, because it's not, at least originally. Yup, this one was originally made for iOS under the title Monster Jam, and then expanded and updated for the PC and console market back in 2015. Anyway, as you can see, there are a few modes in this game. One standout mode is where you must drive your truck through obstacles in a 2.5D environment, much like the urban trial games. Overall, don't expect anything grand, but it's enjoyable if your standards aren't high. Monster Jam. Crush it. This game was heavily criticized by many of you for its unrealistic physics, graphics, and poor commentary, and I can't really argue with that. I mean, the game wasn't even released for PC, which says a lot about its quality. When a game is released for every platform but skips PC, it's often a sign that the developers didn't want to face criticism from hardcore players, which are basically nerds who don't have a life. But hey, I have a life outside of gaming too, so I don't mind diving into simple arcade games.
Shocking! Awesome! Amazing!
Monster Truck Destruction. This game is decent, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. Given that it started out as a mobile title, it's actually pretty solid. Now, you won't be pulling off insane multi-backflips, but you can manage a single backflip if your truck's got the horsepower for it. And by the way, there's a slight half-second delay when turning, so start your turns a bit early. Occasionally, you might also get stuck on random objects in the arena for no apparent reason, so pick this up if you know what you're getting into. Monster Jam. First things first, think of this game as FlatOut 2 on steroids. Seriously, it's stripped down to the essentials, just you, your truck, and the risk of overheating your engine with the boost. This keeps your focus locked on the action, which can get absolutely frantic. Moreover, the races are definitely challenging, and the odds can flip in an instant, which keeps things exciting. All in all, Monster Jam nails a simple yet super effective approach to monster truck racing. It's fun, intense, and totally worth a spin if you're up for some high-octane action.
Oh, he's feeling vicious today.
Monster Jam Maximum Destruction. This game may be old, but it was released in the PS2 era, so it's not that old. Okay, yeah, maybe to some of you it's already a retro game. Damn, am I old? Anyway, this one is different from other monster truck games because you must combat other monster trucks, much like in the Twisted Metal games. There are racing and freestyle modes, but they're just mini-games here. So if you want a different take on monster truck games, maybe try this one, because apparently it's considered abandonware by now. Monster Trucks Nitro. With this game, don't expect a full-blown monster truck experience designed for young adults or those old guys who call themselves alpha males. Instead, think of this game as a fun activity for your kids or your nephews and nieces, assuming they're still kids. But definitely don't offer this game to your teenage kids. They'll hate you for it. Anyway, the game is like those trial games, where you're just playing a vehicle-based side-scrolling game with the goal of finishing the course by passing obstacles. And for the right audience, this is actually pretty fun. Monster Jam Steel Titans. Although the physics can be a bit wacky at times and the trucks don't always behave like they would in real life, this one is not bad at all. And honestly, that just adds to the charm. Moreover, most modes can be conquered with a few tricks up your sleeve, and overall, it's pretty entertaining. The gameplay is also wonderful. You really get a good feel for the action, even if it's not super realistic. Not only that, there are tons of trucks to unlock by playing and racking up points. So, grab this one if it's on sale. Monster Truck Fury. Now, for this one, I think it's reserved for nostalgia purposes only. I mean, look at the game. What are the odds that people who just saw this game would want to play it? Even mobile games for babies have better visuals. And yes, babies now play games on their parents' smartphones. Shocked? Welcome to the future, old man. Anyway, this one is a very niche game. Too niche, in fact. The number of reviews on Steam is just about 5 as I'm writing this script, so get this one at your own risk. Monster Jam Steel Titans 2. This one is currently the go-to game for people who want to play a proper monster truck game without installing mods like some of the other games in this list. If you're a regular guy and just want to feel like you're on top of the world while hearing that roaring engine sound with all the bombastic action from your couch, this is your game. Buy it, play it, and experience one of the most fun arcade racing games of the modern era. Trust me, if you're not a hardcore player, you'll have fun with this one. SpinTires with mods. This one is actually an off-road transportation simulation game, a really good one, in fact. However, with some mods, we can turn it into a monster truck simulation game. The thing with the SpinTires franchise is that it excels in simulating the physics of not only the vehicles, but also the environment, whether it's mud, snow, water, or even rocks. This is heaven for people who crave realism. So, if you're craving a realistic vehicle physics experience combined with monster trucks, then try to get this one and learn how to install the mods. Just Cause 4. The Just Cause series may not be the greatest open-world game franchise, but if there's one thing it excels at, it's causing chaos and pulling off insane stunts in its vast world. Sure, it might not offer the best monster truck experience or the top open-world gameplay, but driving a monster truck and doing some ridiculous stunts can be a great way to blow off steam after a long day at work. However, considering the game's price, it's best to get this if you're also interested in the base game, not just the monster truck aspect. Monster Truck Championship. On easy and medium difficulties, the game is a blast for players of all ages, offering a fun challenge. But turn up the difficulty past medium, and things get seriously realistic and tough. You'll really feel like you're driving a gigantic truck, especially in first-person view. The stunts are also much harder to pull off compared to other monster truck games, which just adds to that massive truck experience. So, if you're looking for more depth and realism from the last Monster Jam game, this one is definitely worth checking out.
Nose wheelie, wow!
SpinTires MudRunner with mods. Just like its predecessor, this game focuses on providing a realistic off-road experience, especially with massive vehicles like heavy-duty trucks and specialized military vehicles. However, just like the original, you can install a few mods to enjoy that muddy terrain with realistic physics while controlling monster trucks of your choice. And since this game is newer than the original SpinTires, it benefits from more support and a larger player base, which is a definite plus. Anyway, I suggest you choose either this game or the next one, which is also from the SpinTires franchise. SnowRunner with mods. At first glance, the gameplay might seem super simple and even a bit tedious, but trust me, after a few hours, you'll realize just how much focus and precision off-road driving demands. Crawling through mud at a snail's pace for 10 minutes might sound boring, but in SnowRunner, it's actually surprisingly captivating. Overall, it's similar to MudRunner, but offers a lot more player support and a larger community. So if you're someone who appreciates getting a lot of value for your money, SnowRunner is definitely worth checking out. It's a great buy for anyone into immersive off-road simulations. Wreckfest. So, if you're into smashing cars and high-octane fun, Wreckfest is your jam. Imagine a demolition derby but cranked up with soft body damage modeling and some seriously sophisticated driving dynamics. In this game, you've got demolition derbies where the goal is to obliterate everything in your path, and more traditional track races where you get to show off your driving skills. It's all about fast-paced racing and spectacular crashes that'll have you grinning from ear to ear. Oh, By the way, there is only one monster truck in this game, so take that in mind. BeamNG.drive. Some of you might already know that BeamNG is the vehicle game that can be anything with the right mods and the right mindset, of course. Anyway, remember Rigs of Rods from earlier on this list? Well, some of its developers went on to create BeamNG. What a small world, right? So, rest assured, when it comes to vehicle physics realism, this is one of the strongest contenders. Just don't expect it to be a full-on monster truck racing or freestyle game. However, if you're someone who's obsessed with vehicle physics, this game is definitely worth checking out. Forza Horizon 5. This game is currently one of the go-to options for a fun arcade racing experience, and just like other Forza games, it has great graphics and a massive collection of cars. However, most of these are geared toward the mainstream audience who prefers sports cars and supercars. What about monster trucks? Well, there is one monster truck in the game and exactly one event where you can drive it. Unfortunately, you can't use it in free roam, which is a letdown. However, with a bit of magic aka mods, you can get that truck into free roam mode.
Oh, one more thing. This baby's got four-wheel steering instead of a handbrake. Good luck.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I was fascinated by the monster truck's ability to drive everywhere in GTA San Andreas when I was a kid. What really blew my mind was how pressing the handbrake button made the truck turn more sharply by activating its four-wheel steering mode. How cool is that? As a kid, this was my first time seeing a monster truck with all of its tires turning. Back then, it was like seeing magic. Anyway, for 90s kids, getting this game is worth it, whether it's just for the monster truck or the overall experience. Grand Theft Auto 5. If 90s kids had GTA San Andreas, then the so-called lame kids born in the 2000s, aka Gen Z, have GTA 5 as their childhood game. Like it or not, GTA 5 is basically the GTA San Andreas of their generation, and one of the big draws of GTA 5 is its online multiplayer, which is a massive hit, though let's be honest, it's because these kids don't have friends in real life. Anyway, if you're young and still have your hair, get this game so you and your online buddies can have a blast doing ridiculous stunts with monster trucks. Monster Jam Showdown. Now, this game hasn't been released yet as I'm making this video, but if you're watching this a month after it was published, you'll be able to play and experience the latest Monster Jam game. And as we can see from the trailer, it looks like it will feature the usual modes from its predecessors, like racing and freestyle. Right now, I obviously can't say much more about it since the game hasn't been released yet, though it might be if you are watching this later. In the meantime, some YouTubers have managed to release leaked gameplay. Go check them out. So do you agree with our picks? Check out these other videos from us and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.